All right, we're back, and I think I want to leave. Uh, I want to go to. I think I want to go to Give.
Yeah, no, totally. Totally.
Give. Um,
Mm,
you crawl into the. You crawl into
mm,
the room. The
yeah,
prize room with its massive beanbag couch and its
yeah.
and the pile of plushies.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I don't know about you, but I think there's this weird moment where like outside there's all this panic and everything and people sort of shouting and call like orders and the civilians sort of asking questions and things. And I like scramble with the key and
and you
I'm
hear the sound of
you know
gunshots.
yeah, right. And like I'm like horribly wounded, and so I just sort of like pile into this room and like lean the door closed
Mm-hmm.
and like flick the switch on the door,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like sort of slide down onto the ground,
Mm-hmm. What do your
and
face
like
look like as you're
everything,
like, yeah.
yeah, everything's sort of become like muffled through the door.
Mm.
um I think they just look really sort of surprised. Like, I don't think they've ever been hurt this badly before, and they don't really know how
And
to
it
respond to
happened
it.
by something so mundane, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, it did. It wasn't like someone had a knife or they got shot with a gun. Like, they don't really understand what just happened and why they're in so much pain. So I think they're really kind of like
yeah.
they're really in shock. So they just look sort of stunned. And I think there's like, yeah, this kind of weird moment where they're sitting there and like the sound of the radio comes in, sort of like muffled from inside like this pile of like soft toys and things. And it's just like the sound of this music and like the sound of violence happening. Like,
Mm.
I think they can hear like Mito's voice and like Biscuit,
And like
and
the
like the
sounds of like the
struggle.
old people like yelling like when
Yeah,
they see Pacha get hit.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's just this weird transition where like we move from one kind of chaos into like the sound of one bit of chaos into like the sound of another.
Yeah, both of them
And
muffled.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And both of them really like distant and weird and muffled and through this like kind of haze. And so I think um like Give is kind of obviously registering that something very bad is happening on the radio, and I think they kind of like struggle to try and sort of like vaguely find where it is, but like it's really dark in here and their vision is really blurry. And so I think by the time they sort of get to it, that's about when we hear Mito say like, like, nope, everybody out, like you need to leave, you need to get out.
Mm-hmm.
um and I think like that's about where they find the radio. um and like, yeah, just sort of like just kind of put it over their head. Like, they don't even sort of put it on their shoulder properly, they just kind of like put the strap over their head
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of like sit there for a second, um and breathe.
Yep.
Yeah,
And Paint It Black is playing.
yeah. um I think like there is at least a little bit where they don't do anything other than hold onto the radio, sit in the dark, like try to get a sense of what's happening outside, and try to breathe through broken ribs. Like, I think they just sit there for a minute
Yeah.
or five.
Yeah. That's cool. And yeah, they just rest. They don't open their brain. They don't read a situation. They
Nope.
don't. Um, they don't do anything other than just take a moment. After a little bit, the sounds become less like they go back to that like they become less like screams and shouts and things and more people like talking urgently and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think after like a couple of moments, you hear someone like talking elevatedly, and then someone goes and tries to rattle the doorknob, and then like tries again, and then like bangs on the door. And you hear
Do they
someone else.
say anything?
What the fuck? Where the fuck are my
So-
keys?
Is it Newton's voice?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, is there in this room a vent of any sort?
Yes.
Okay. But presumably it's like quite high up and I'd have to climb up some shelves or something to get to it. Which would be difficult to do in my current state.
Yep.
But if Newton gets in here and I have his keys, it's going to go very badly.
Yes.
So it's potential harm or definitely very harm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shit. Alright, no, I think I need to try to get to the vent.
Okay. You gonna try and escape through air vents?
But it's so bad because, oh god, if I fall and take harm, I'll be in a locked room.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I love these kinds of risks. This is what Apocalypse World is all about. Alright.
Fuck yeah, it is. Fundamental scarcity.
Exactly. I could try to read the situation to
No, you
get...
can't.
No, okay. Cool. Alright. So, what am I doing here? Am I doing something under fire?
Yep.
And the
Okay.
fire is you falling and jostling your broken ribs.
God, yep.
Oh, this is so tense. I can't even.
Oh, fuck! No!
Can Mido,
Oh,
who we like literally
God,
can hear over the radio,
Um,
just put it as maybe a thing?
it's gonna be easier to. Okay.
It's like I can't help, right? Like I got my own shit to deal with right now.
The only way I could see it being argued is through like the presence of Mido in through the radio, and the fact that Mido calmed the violence that was happening in the studio. Like gives me renewed
I mean,
hope
like,
and motivation. That's the only way I could see that being.
Well, you have the radio back, right? Like
I
you
have
have
the
the radio
radio
back,
back, yes.
and Mido is broadcasting again.
Yes.
yeah.
Mido, if you
Like,
can
the
pick
radio's
an
back.
appropriate song, I'll allow you to roll.
If you can get an appropriate song, yes, I like it.
I've got one. It's just completely not in Mido's wheelhouse, so I'm not going to suggest it.
So, like, it's the one that leaps immediately in mind because I'm trying to think of a song that invokes both the panic and energy that we're feeling and the the fact that Give really needs to calm down and Give really needs to inhale and breathe. So the song is gonna be "Breathe" by The Prodigy.
Yes! Yes! I love that song. Alright.
I love
Sweet.
that. Like for like mad scampering. All right, give me the roll.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can
Yep.
stop this child
So
from
to
being
roll
injured. You know.
2d6 plus 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
You got 7 to 9 at least.
Come on. Yes, I mean, that's a 7 to 9.
Yep.
Oh,
Alright.
So we'll... Okay.
How's your how are you feeling
Oh.
about your? I mean, here's the thing, right?
Uh,
You can squeeze through there. Like it's a tiny hole. You shouldn't be able to squeeze through there, but you could force yourself. I mean, it's not like you have those ribs holding a stable structure right now. You're gonna take some harm.
okay, but
You're
I
gonna
will
take
be in the
harm,
vents.
but you will be in the vents.
Yes, I will do that. I will take that bargain because
Welcome
I
to
feel
10
like
o'clock.
Newton is definite harm.
Oh, he would
so,
pull your fucking head off.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep his keys, by the way. I still have his keys.
Yeah.
He is not getting those keys.
Yep.
All right.
I love this because like as you're like climbing through, you hear him like throwing himself physically against the door, and like his weight crushed you, but like it's a security door.
Yeah, and he's like thumping against it in time
Yeah.
with like the music on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Man. Oh my god. Alright. I'm now very
I'm-
injured in a vent.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm-
like
I'm
that
gonna-
was
I'm
to
gonna
escape
advise-
through the vents, right? Like, where do you want to come out? This, you can basically use this to be in your things now. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're basically
Yeah.
in your network.
if they go that far, get to Tau.
Yeah.
Because your harm is going to start getting worse on its own. Like, you need
It's
medical
true.
attention.
Yeah, I mean, you're
The
going
question
to
is whether I would know that, or like whether
Yeah.
I would think that.
yeah, and like going that far will require another roll.
Yeah,
That's a long way.
Uh-huh.
but has Lola ever fixed me before when I've been injured, or is that not a thing that Lola ever does? Is that not?
I think Sunrise. I think Sunrise is like they're not an angel, but they are like proficient in like the very basics of first aid. Yes,
Yeah,
like
if you had some angel kit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't have anything.
Yeah, but like I think Give is familiar with the idea of like being hurt and going to people who can help. Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
Sunrise didn't just like ignore it when you scraped your knee, right? Like Sunrise
No,
was like,
no.
okay, like
Yeah.
here this thing is broken and we're gonna fix it, right? Like
That's it. I think as a kid, I don't have a good concept of how injured I am, and I don't have a good concept of I should go to a doctor. I just have a concept of I'm in a lot of pain and really scared, and I need to go to my grandparent. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's it's really like simple. So I would like to go to Lola.
cool.
I don't know where Lola is,
No,
but I would
I'm
like
allowing
to.
you that.
Okay,
Cool.
I would
All
like
right.
to go to Lola, where
Cool.
Lola is.
All right, you start moving towards.
great. So
Lola.
we're gonna have a really upsetting scene of Give and Sunrise dying next to each other. Awesome. That's good. This is gonna be good.
I at least want to like find Lola. I don't,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. I maybe want to assess the situation from within a vent when I get there, but I want to find where Lola is.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Partridge is not alive anymore. Your geriatrics are
Partridge or
like,
Parcher?
sorry, Parcher. Parcher is not alive anymore. Your geriatrics
Partridge isn't
are,
alive anymore. Oh, problem solved.
Wouldn't that be nice? Your geriatrics are beside themselves. And one of them has taken over the duty of the making the panic tea.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Aggro has taken over the duty of making the panic tea.
Okay,
He's a mustachioed, heavy-set gentleman.
Okay.
That I think he always wears overalls, greasy overalls.
Yep. Okay. I'd like to address Aggro, and
you go to address him, and he's in the middle of making the tea, and he's not great at it, and he makes a startled through his walrus handlebar mustache.
Aw. That wasn't okay. What happened there was not. But what happened there was not something that should have happened. I'm not going to defend myself. I lost my head. But Parcher deserved better than this. In another world, in another time, people like Parcher would have been honored and would have been but that's not the world that we live in right now. The world that we live in is kill or be killed, and that's not right, and that's not fair, and that's shitty, but that's the way it is. But I'm trying to be better than the world. And I wasn't today. And I'm sorry. And at this point, I would like to tell you that for my level bonus, I have chosen the good fight as a radio move, as a news move, and I would like to roll hot as I am speaking passionately. Oh no, that's invalid.
It's for other PCs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for other PCs. Oh well, I stand by everything I said, regardless of whether or not I get to roll for any cool bonuses.
I love the fact that it's to like aggro, who's just like looking at you confused and just being like, he's just trying to make the tea, right? Like you're making this impassioned speech, and aggro's like, he's a simple dude. Like,
I offer to help him make the tea.
That's the thing that makes the big difference right here. That's the thing that takes these old folks from being the like witnesses to your mercy. Takes them from being your witnesses to being your followers, right? It's just the simple act of you make the tea with aggro when they're mourning for Parcha.
Yep.
And so I think we just close on like, I want to leave it there, right? Like just you and aggro and a kettle and cups of tea and tea bags and like, yeah.
It's like the immediate lead in to like a really subdued wake, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with tea instead of whiskey. Like that's basically what
That's I like the idea.
No, go on, sorry.
I like the idea of just walking around the office and showing aggro how to hand people tea.
Yeah.
So like handle first aggro. That's
exactly. Yep. I'm getting such like a it's such a wake vibe. Like I'm thinking of like the urn, the sound of an urn in a church hall. You know, like yeah.
I'm totally picturing that like the credits for this episode, at least one of the parts of it, is just like footage of the wake, like of them all just sitting there like drinking tea and talking quietly, and we don't hear anything. We just hear some like sad like Celtic rock song by like you know some band from Boston or something, and like that's like part of the credits.
I think if it's not like too much, I think it's an interesting and like really poignant sort of contrast as well. Like I think if you were to see anything of the other two, you'd have these kind of like similar, like mirrored shots of like Sunrise like in the elevator, and it would be like an above shot where they're just in this like metal box, and it's just kind
bleeding
of like
and like blood like dripping down onto the floor.
And then like Give in this like metal like shaft, just like again like covered in like with like blood coming out of their mouth and just sort of like crawling, and it's just really quiet. Like everything is just really quiet.
And I think we cut back and we follow this
it's the fucking song that plays in The Lord of the Rings outside Moria just after Gandalf dies. Like it's one of those like real like soft violin heartbreakers, right? Like
But yeah, we get this like a long slow shot, right? Like of the last cup of tea as we just slowly steady cam shot, like looking at Mito's face in the teacup as he comes out and like he just like slowly and gently places the cup of tea into Harridan's hands, and we just see Harridan like his like face is just completely like streaked, and his eyes are like red and puffy. But he's like trying so hard to make it look like he was like he's just like trying so hard to like be stern, and his eyes are running anyway, and he's just holding the cup. And then I think we cut to the sound of like ding, punch, and the doors go chink, and we see Sunrise just like, do you like cock a gun? What do you do?
I've got like I think I'm actually like literally leant against the back wall, like mustering my strength. Because I know my limits, right? Like I've been doing violence for a very long time. Like I know I'm starting to push the limits here. And so like there's no pride here. Like, Sunrise has got nothing to gain by being, like, a badass and just like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna stand anyway. Like, they're just slumped against the back with the gun raised, waiting for the guy who's in front of the door to have to pry it open to get at them. And, like, as soon as it opens a crack, like, there's just gonna be a spray of bullets through, and then they're gonna be moving. But right now, it's just this, like, a beat of, like...
Yeah.
Of stillness. I think there's even, like, a long, just, like, exhausted sigh and just, like, all these, like, deeply cut, like, lines of pain and weariness into this craggy, ancient face.
Yep. Cool. You're gonna have to
And
open the
any
door
part...
if you want it.
I'm gonna have to open the door? Alright.
Or, like, you've stopped
And,
it
like...
from opening automatically, right? Like...
Yeah, well, so so, it was unclear. I was imagining that, like, they would open the door to come and get me. Like, I was imagining that their response to it would be that, like, they would try and pry it open to get in at me.
I mean, you hear two people move into position outside.
Yeah.
But, like, the point is that you can use the door as cover.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. Like, because, like, Sunrise is big enough and, like, strong enough that they can probably, like, one-handed and with their weight behind it, open, like, one door enough to get a muzzle through.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And to go from there.
Yeah.
We can work that out. We can see all of that later. Right? Or no? Is that not...
What?
Did we not... It's not the closing thing?
No.
That's not the end of the episode yet. We've still got 23 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were like... I thought you were going
No.
to like...
No, I
so,
want to finish. I know
yeah,
what
so,
I want to finish.
So I think...
Alright.
Yeah, I think there's like, yeah, there's like this long, like, slow sigh, and like any parts of Dusk's like outfit, this like ancient outfit from their like bloody youth, like any part of it that wasn't already red is now with their blood. And there's this long sigh, and then they straighten up, and their face just goes like cold. And suddenly there is nothing in them that is not just like steel.
Yeah.
There's no sign of any of it anymore. And then they just like pry one like massive hand with these like gnarled, like wrinkled old fingers, each one, which is like huge. And they just like lever them into the crack in the door and just like let their weight pull it open, and then just step out and start and like take out the two guys in front of the elevator.
So you step out, right? It is what is clearly once like an office like meeting room, like the like office like open space, so it's got like a little corner kitchenette, all those sorts of things. But it's got these huge like antique Chinese cloisonne vases like that are like 1.5 meters tall. It has like silk embroidered tapestries. The smell of incense fills the room, and there's someone in the corner in the kitchenette is doing something and like with a kettle. And like there's this big gorgeous rug that covers the most of the middle of the room, and in the middle of the room is a small table with green on it and mahjong tiles and like 4 seats. And on the seat facing you is this little old like Southeast Asian woman in like a white silk blouse who just like looks up from the mahjong at you as 3 of 4 like steps in front of her to start to protect her and also start firing. And I'm like already, and like my fingers already depressed the trigger as this is happening. And this is the point at which there is more shooting happens.
So I would like to seize the lives of 3 and 4 by force.
Yeah, cool. I just want to check what the definition of a small gang is, because I think there's probably like 1 or 2 extra goons. I'm gonna say there's 4 dudes, including 3 and 4.
Let me look.
So whether that's a small gang or not, I'm not sure.
Gangs, blah 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 blah.
It's under gear and crap, isn't it?
253.
Gangs. Size. Gang size. Nah, it's not even a small gang. They're just individuals.
Yep.
You would like to seize their... So, yeah. Roll to seize the lives of the goons, including 3 and 4.
Yep. And do I get the +2 because I'm acting on having read the situation?
Which answer?
Like, what is my best way in? Ride the elevator, use the emergency stop.
Yep. Cool.
Use the door for cover?
Definitely, yep. So,
Alright,
9?
so it's a 9.
Alright. So choose, is it one of the...
Good question. I just looked at basic moves by accident.
Yeah, same. I did the same thing.
Choose 2.
Yeah, cool. So choose your 2.
I am going to suffer little harm and take definite and undeniable control of it. Because again, I don't think I need to inflict terrible harm. Like I'm, like these are just like 4 poor individual human beings, and I'm a small gang. Like I don't need terrible harm. It's just not necessary.
So yeah, how much harm do you do?
3, 1 because I'm a small gang. 5 for merciless, 6 for blood crazed. So 6 harm.
Wow.
Cool. And you're suffering little harm was one of your options?
Yeah, so I'm suffering whatever their harm is, less 3.
Yeah, less 3, which is 0.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. What, like, describe this scene. Like, there's 2 goons, 2 lieutenants, the person who, like the person making the tea, and the woman at the table.
Is the person making the tea armed?
No.
Or are they just like a secretary or whatever?
They're another little old Southeast Asian woman.
Yep.
But like less fancily dressed.
So I think actually what it looks like is this, right? So like Sunrise's hand, this like ancient weathered like hand, gets in the door, opens the door, they step out. One of the goons is like by the elevator, like and like comes right up in their face, and they just grab the gun, like not off them, they just grab it in their hands, slam it back, and break their nose.
Yeah.
And like the shards go up in their brain, they're just dead. Like,
yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Like fatally, and like without even looking at them, as bullets into 3 right in front of them, shift target bullets into 4, and like the body is taking the bullets from like the 4th person.
Yeah.
And then they drop the Uzi, and then the handgun is out, and then it's a bullet between those eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think, like, honestly, I don't think they even shoot the man, to be honest. I think, like, someone else's gunfire goes wild. Like, I think it's as 3 drops.
No, she's definitely standing at the end of this. You did not say you were trying to take her life.
Visions of Death says that during the battle she dies.
Yeah, I don't know the battle is
finished. And what I mean, like the man is the vulnerability of paradise. Nothing I've heard sounds like the man is like physically capable of.
Yeah, no, but we've got to have
defending ourselves.
Wherein it's just you and the man.
It's you and the man, right?
But so like I'm almost imagining like the tragedy of it is that like Sunrise like the vulnerability is so like Sunrise doesn't even have to kill the man. The man is so frail that like.
Nah, man.
It just happened. Okay, okay, that's fair. Like I'll take that. I just wanted to lean in the frailty direction because that's
not like she's not frail, right? She's old. She's not frail, right? She's.
I mean,
like
she is the vulnerability of the system.
Her vulnerability is her hubris, right?
So okay.
The thing that is the problem here is the fact that she's just sitting there while you kill everyone and not getting
running,
right? Her friend comes over looking terrified, shaking the teacups, right? Like in the quiet of the room. There's the sound of the teacups shaking, and like we get this like flashback to the tea being made in the other scene, and like the shaking of these teacups as they're like as this person is just standing there, and they put down the tea in front of the man, and then they put down their own tea, and then they take this place back at the mahjong board like they're supposed to. What happens?
I want to know when I find
You can
Yeah.
have. Do you want to have seen this? Do you want to see rock up
Yeah.
now?
I'd like to rock up now.
Yeah. Does the man have a weapon?
Not visibly.
Can I that's really the question, right? Like, I think Sunrise is reading the situation, because if the man has a weapon, like, this is still a battle. If it's not, then like maybe there is a moment of professional courtesy. But I think like all of that is contingent on the question of like
Read the sitch.
what happens after they assess this situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
It had to happen.
yeah.
It had to happen. I think it's the first roll I failed today. It had to happen at some
Yeah,
point.
so I think you look around and then you realize that the man is just like casually like sitting in the chair with that holding a gun like pointed, and you can read the situation. You know that gun is pointed dead at you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
Like she's just sitting there being like, I have a silenced pistol, like pointed at your head.
Yep.
And yeah, she's like, you make a lot of noise. It's very impolite. Why are you coming in here, making all this trouble for me?
And I think Sunrise heaves out this like long sigh and like settles down in front of like on the other side of the
Yeah,
mahjong
right. Like,
table.
yeah, you can take the other side of the table. Yeah. And the
And
other
is like-
the person who served the tea starts dealing you a hand.
Yeah. And Sunrise is just like from one colleague to another, you dream too big.
She's like, yeah, and she's like, someone knocked the wall down. Someone has to rebuild it. And she's like, no one else around here seems to be doing that job.
I think there's just this laugh, like not because it's funny, but because like in a lot of ways, like when you say old, like how old are they? Like of an
Old
age,
enough to remember.
or is so we're both of the same like generation.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's really funny because like we're the same age, but she's at a point in her life. She is 30 years behind Sunrise.
Yeah, well, it's
At
just
least
like
in their
like
eyes,
you
on a
didn't-
maturity level, right? Because like
Yeah, right,
she's
exactly.
still in the mindset that being
Yeah.
a hard holder can fix all this.
Yeah, exactly,
Like-
right? Like, I think at this point you notice that there is a common theme amongst the art around her. It's got lots of noble-looking, like,
Yeah.
people in crowns and, like, nobility and, like, fine
Yeah,
tea and, like,
totally,
tea ceremonies
totally.
and people
Totally.
yeah, right? People
Yeah,
on
yeah.
thrones.
And I think Sunrise, I think Sunrise just looks at her and says, "Do you know who I am?"
She's like, I've heard a couple of stories, but they never seem to corroborate properly.
Under which name?
She's like, I just call you the Knight these days.
And I think there's another one of these sides. It's just, it doesn't work. That's the trick. You can't build anything with a gun. You can't build anything on bodies. They do only one fucking thing. And you can't make a new world by burning the old one away. That's already been done for you.
Yeah, I think she says, I seemed to be doing fine before you came here. She's like, my people
And
are
that's-
prosperous.
And that's just it. I came. And if not me, it would have been Balls. And if not him, it would have been the Gearheads. And if not them, it would have been Kettle's gang down south. It never fucking lasts. You can't make peace at the end of a gun.
Yeah, and I think she's like,
And you thought you could.
yeah, and she's like, I'm an old woman. I can't. She's like, I'm an old woman. I can't learn to shoot my way through things like you seem to do. I am content here. And you come in here and make a mess of my house. If you, she's like, I'm pretty sure I'm quicker than you. I'm offering you the opportunity to leave and not come and make a mess again. Or else I'll have to make sure you don't. What happens? What's going on, Em?
So
Yeah, Giv, I think this is your moment. There's like a beat. There's a beat there.
I'd really love it
This is gonna be good.
if sort of near this point in time, I could have snuck into the room. I would like to not be seen by anybody. And I'd like to try and get up behind the man.
Sure. I mean,
That sounds
that's-
like
yeah,
acting under
acting
fire.
on fire. Yep.
That's what I'd like.
Yep.
If it goes terribly, that'll be interesting too. However, I think I've had time to sit and watch everybody, so maybe I ought to read the situation. Maybe I ought to like sit and look from a vent and then do this. But I haven't really had time to do things. What do you think, Ash?
You can read the sitch.
You can read
Yeah.
the situation. I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that.
Yeah. Go. Questions.
Yes.
Questions
Sweet.
abound.
We're like we're like compressing the conversation for the sake of time.
Yeah.
I imagine in reality, right? Like there's a lot more like
Yeah.
slow, meaningful glances across
Oh,
the
yeah,
table
right.
at each other and like
Oh, yeah.
twitches between
Do you
people's
play?
eyes
Do you
and
play any
stuff.
tiles?
Pardon?
Does
I don't think so because like
Yeah.
my family like I don't come from that background, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
have learned
right.
before,
Yeah.
and like there's no fucking way I learned after.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions. I'm never quite sure how to interpret the question, what's my enemy's true position? I think that's really interesting. And, like, I don't...
It's
I
most
quite
useful in
understand
battle, right? Like,
Okay, alright. Then, which enemy is most vulnerable to me? What should I be on the lookout for?
If you want that bonus on the sneaking, what's my best way in? Like,
Yeah,
would
what's my
probably be
best way in?
mhm.
And then from my special questions, I would like to know how close to the wolves.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just looking at the roll before then. I'm thinking that the answer to the last question is there's one in this room,
Yeah.
and your best way in is like between the decorations, right? Like this room is like one of those like horrible
Yeah.
gray like cubicle like imagine the space that you would have like an office party in, right? Like where you would all like
But filled with giant Ming vases
Yeah, right,
and tapestries and
exactly. Yeah.
all of this cover.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like horrible grey walls and grey carpet and like fluoro lights. But like you can crawl amongst those like ostentatious bullshit as much as you like.
Okay.
The most vulnerable enemy is the friend,
Maiden?
the tea person. I don't want to say handmaiden. That's not really their role.
No.
They are the friends
true.
that makes the tea.
The friend, yeah.
Yeah. They're your most
Friends.
vulnerable enemy.
Yeah.
And what was the other question? It was enemy's true position.
Lookout.
Yes, what should I be on the lookout for?
What should you be on the lookout for? I mean, it's pretty obvious that, like, I think that what you be on the lookout for is the fact that you're aware of the fact that she's good with that gun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you saw, I don't know if you saw her, like, do the draw, but, like, it was, like, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's not a lot of things, but she is quite quick on the reflex.
Yeah. So long as she doesn't know I'm here, but if she works out I'm here, she could just swing and just like,
Yeah.
well, bam. All right. Based on that, I'm going to sneak through the decorations.
Okay.
I'm going to sneak up behind her, and I don't want anybody to see me.
Okay.
Including-
That's. Yep. Act under fire.
I feel like that's like if you're right, if you are sneaking up behind her and I'm sitting directly opposite her, I feel like that last part is like
The question is, yeah, I think like
Pretty
what's possible
hard.
here.
Pretty
Let's talk
small.
about what's possible here. I think
Okay.
it's possible for you to be seen, you can either, like, you can either be seen like this is like before you even roll. You can either be seen by Lola or by the friend. You can't not be seen by either. If you want to
I
get
guess
right
I'm-
behind her,
like there's
within,
plenty
like,
of
touching
yeah,
distance.
there's plenty of it sounds like
I
there's
guess
plenty
I
of cover
need,
around
like,
the walls, but
I feel
none
like I
none
need
in
a-
the middle.
Yeah.
right. Like you can get to behind her, like line of sight wise, but if you want to get behind her within touching distance, that's a different. That I don't know that that's like.
Yeah,
possible
at that
with
point, like
other
I'm gonna
thing.
see you over her shoulder.
Yeah,
like she's
exactly.
tiny.
But I'm
As well.
So am I. Yeah. Maybe I'm visualizing this wrong. Like the way that I'm visualizing it, I feel like if I were to basically crawl along the ground, I'd be below the table for everyone's line of sight until I get like to the
But
back of the
they
chair.
form a triangle, so they've got like a visual triangle.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's
Yeah.
the problem.
And like remember, like I'm
They're
tall,
not just- they're not
right?
just opposite,
so like I
right?
can
There's
see the
also
floor
different-
behind her easily.
Yeah. So you can like that's the thing is that I'm like in order to do this you can have one or the other not see you.
Okay. So the character would want Lola to see, but me, the player, specifically, I want this to be.
A surprise to sunrise.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Like the story that I want to see here is a story wherein like Sunrise doesn't know I'm in the room.
Yeah.
Sunrise, I'm miles away somewhere else. So I think
So here's the thing: you could have it so that the only person, so you could climb up, like behind Sunrise and have all behind the man, and either way have only the friend see.
Yeah. Okay.
Both of those are options.
Here's something really interesting then. And tell me if I need to roll for this. And I know I'm doing a lot of rolls in a row.
That's right.
I know I'm doing that. But when I don't know if I can employ this, I put something in place in the past kind of thing here, or if it's just a case of remembering.
It doesn't move for that.
I mean,
Yeah,
You've already
but
seen it
only
this
if I
session.
allow it.
There's a move for that. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So last session, when I went into the bowling alley, I saw a big board of faces that said who they were and all that stuff.
Yep.
Oh.
I would like to know whether I saw among those faces any faces that looked like this friend
Yes.
that were children.
That were children.
I can only
Does the
look
friend
at
does the friend have a child?
or a
Oh.
grandchild.
Right. Yeah. Roll sharp.
Oh, it's the give special. Look like someone they care about, then
Yeah.
permanently deafen them.
I mean, it is, isn't it? Okay, so rolling sharp,
Really hard to argue with what works.
partial success.
Oh.
All right, which means you did the thing, but it wasn't quite what you think.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. So as I'm
shit.
moving through, like, I think, yeah, we, like, you know, the camera, like, sort of sees me moving and then like moves back to the conversation.
You move behind a Ming vase and you come out the other side looking different.
The other side looking different. Yeah. And I think I assume the appearance of like a young girl with sort of like long black hair and like a fringe. And obviously like same sort of heritage. And I am going to roll, because I haven't rolled yet, to see whether I can successfully sneak up with only the friend seeing.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm acting on the information that I have, so I can add +1.
Yep.
Okay. 10! 10!
Nice.
Yes, thank God for that
Are you
+1.
are you behind Lola or behind?
Behind the man.
Okay.
I want to be
sure.
behind the man, and I want only the friend to have glimpsed me.
Yep. That has happened. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm now happy to just sit for.
Yeah. So she's told you that like she's giving you the opportunity to get out and like never return, or she's just gonna shoot you.
Yep.
Sunrise.
And I think like I nod.
Just so you're aware, like
Yep.
you and like if she shoots you, it's going to ignore your armor.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
I know. I expect nothing less, right? Like yeah, I think I nod and I'm like, that's more generous than I'd be in your position.
I'm a generous person. That's how I ended up here.
And I shoot.
Cool. You exchange harm.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll race you though. I'll race you though.
What are you gonna
Okay.
do? What do you want to do?
My whole reason for getting behind here is because I would like to stab this person. I would like to do that ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I don't know how it works when all
That's
like
it.
three
That
people
sounds like
in the room minus the tea lady want to try and kill each other at the same
I mean,
time.
like that sounds like either because like okay, so the trigger for this chain of events is either Give stabbing her or Sunrise shooting her. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't sound, Ash, from what you've said, like she's about to initiate violence.
Yeah.
So
What
I think it
what I
like
think I like, right?
Yeah, what do you want
Yep.
to see?
I think you go to stab her. Right? Like in this moment, you go to stab her.
Yep.
They exchange bullets, and you flinch for a second because you see the
Sunrise take bullet.
no
in the
you
eye.
s- You,
No,
you
no,
see
no.
you see the friend's eyes just like sink in and like turn towards you.
Oh shit!
Fucking knew it.
Yes, I knew it too. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
That's
I was like, "There's no way it's the man."
That's the best. I mean,
Yes.
it could have been any number of things, and all of them were great.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
includes-
No,
that's
I called that. I fucking knew it.
So she's
I love
she's
it.
dead. You take 2.
Ash is too twisty to make it the man. Ah.
So you take 2. Sunrise. She's dead.
Yep.
She like looks
I'm
at
dead.
the blood on her hand.
My life
and,
is
like falls.
my
onto
life
the
is
marginal
untenable.
table. Yeah, I know. Let's leave
That-
that for the end of the
Yep,
episode.
that takes me to midnight. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sunrise. I think the bullet takes them in the burning eye,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
and like, and I think they drop.
Like I think
They
she was
stop.
like knowing that character, she was probably like actually aiming for your neck and missed and like got you in the eye anyway
Yeah.
because like yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What do we
does
do
that
about
mean
this-
I'm now left in the like alone in the room with a wolf?
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
where we like end this? Like,
Yeah, I want to. Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's the end of the episode,
Yeah. We
right?
ended there. Yep.
Because
Hungry like the wolf. Hungry like the
Yeah,
wolf.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Oh, it's either that or it's either that or it's like a heavy metal cover of like Bad Moon Rising.
I think we've had that.
Yeah, we
We've
have.
I
had
think we
that.
have. I
So-
think we actually have. You're right.
So like yeah, there's this moment where you're alone in the thing, and I think
It's-
like we
and
just
then
get
it
like
starts to scream, right? Like its eyes
yeah,
are already
it
sunken
starts,
in.
yeah, it starts to scream. We zoom out right from the
Yeah.
thing so that we can see like everywhere from like paradise to the like we get like an almost a satellite view, right? And we just see the like white turn slowly to green, like in like a time lapse, and then we hear a clap of thunder, and then that's where we end, and that's where we end.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Nice.
So yeah,
Oh.
we will come back in episode 6 in the wet.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nice.
fantastic. Yeah, I'm into it.
So
All right.
Jimmy, does anyone know you better or worse? Sorry, Mito.
I don't.
Someone has to.
I feel like I know you better. I heard you.
Yeah.
trying
Like
to-
you've heard that whole fucking thing.
And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's probably true. That's probably
Cool.
true.
Okay.
Give does know me better.
All right. Emily,
Yeah.
give. Who knows you better or worse?
I think Mito hasn't learned anything about me this time around. So I don't think it's Mito. I think that's been a one-way interaction. I would say maybe Sunrise does, but for this very last interaction, like I think there is
No, it's seeing you with the with the
there was
ship,
definitely
right? Like
like a moment wherein just before you got shot in the eye,
I like
you
the idea that, like you saw.
it's like
saw
as
Give
I
with
was
the knife
falling,
and
as
chose
we
to do
both
that.
fell. Yeah,
I
like
it,
as both the bodies
you
fell,
saw
I
Give
saw
with
you
the knife and
behind
you
with
were
the
like,
ship.
and you were like,
Yeah.
and you chose to take the shot because you saw Give with the knife.
yeah, yes, absolutely. So yeah, I think Sunrise knows me better.
Yep. Cool. But that question is dependent upon the option of a certain decision that I now have to make.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunrise. Who knows you better or worse?
Well, I mean, that depends, Ash, right?
No,
Like,
just- no. Like, who knows Sunrise better or worse at the end of this episode? Like with that, because your the
I think
life
that's
becomes
fair.
untenable
That's
is
fair.
later. Yeah.
that's fair. I think it has to be Give.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Give. I think actually, if I can add a thing, I think like as Sunrise like bleeds out, as far as we see, I think we hear like a last half sentence to what they said. Like no, was that a yes sound or no sound? I can't tell.
Yeah, that's yes.
Yeah. I think it's like whatever it was like I've got to say that like that's more generous than I would be in your position. She starts to talk, we shoot each other, Sunrise falls, and then the last words we heard is "But you touched my kid,"
Yeah. Right.
and like that's the last words we hear from them
And then-
as they
and
like
then we just hear
lie
that,
apparently dead.
like of the like of,
Yeah,
like, the
exactly.
person, like
Exactly,
becoming the
right?
wolf form.
Yeah,
As
so
they're,
I
like-
think-
as they're like, hey,
I
there's
think-
no one here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Give knows Sunrise better. From
Alright.
like seeing just how far they will go for you.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So how about that secret, Em?
Yeah. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do that? Like, do we want to do that? Because I think
Do
I
it
have
now.
something.
Yeah. Jimmy, take your headphones off.
Okay.
Yeah. So chat, just to catch you up, this is for the end of last session when my hex with Give ticked over.
Yeah. So.
And we are resolving it now because we needed to give Em a little time to
yeah.
come up with something.
What was your secret, Em?
So I think I want to do this kind of visually. And I don't know how.
Typical artist.
Yeah, and I don't know how exactly Sunrise knows this, but actually, no. I think it's. Let's get weird with it. I think this is what happens.
Absolutely. This is
So-
Apocalypse World. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So I think the way that I imagine this happening is that as as sunrise, like it falls, like presumably, like even with the chair and whatever, like onto the
I
ground.
pictured us sitting like cross-legged on the floor, but
Oh yeah,
go
right.
on.
Whatever. As you fall to the ground,
Yeah.
there is this shot of you falling,
Yep.
and behind you there are these two pairs of feet and these
Yep.
two like bits of leg, and they're just sort of in the shot as you like fall in the foreground, and you like hit the ground, and we pan up and we see these two people standing there, and they're standing alongside you, and they're just kind of looking down at you with these sort of like calm expressions, and it's very much like it's the same feat that we saw when Give like went into the weird, and like I think it's a like a man and a woman, and they are dressed in very like stereotypical kind of that again, that's like 50s aesthetic but modern clothes.
Totally.
The man is like big and broad and blonde. They're both like really white. And the woman is like your sort of really stereotypical like housewife looking person, and they're holding hands. And I think as like we get this shot of them like looking across to where Give is, and there's this strange kind of like exchange of looks, as though parents would give to a child. And I think that's all I'm gonna. That's all.
And do we see by chance, as a player, I want to chase up a detail. Do we see by chance that their eyes are mirroring the colors of the room in the same way that Gives do?
I don't even think so, because
Right.
I don't think it's quite as. I don't think it's quite as simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
that's interesting.
I think if anything, there is. I think the noticeable thing about this is how at odds they look with Give. Like they are behaving.
Yeah.
They give an expression as they would to a child, but there is a very strong sense that this is not a child that belongs to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting.
Jimmy, you're back.
I have many more questions than I have answers. But that's good. I like it that way.
Good. I have questions too. I'm just
ideal.
throwing stuff in and we'll see what comes out.
Yep.
I have all of the answers, but unfortunately I don't know what you're talking about, so...
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do shout-outs. We'll start with Jimmy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, folks. We'll leave you on a big cliffhanger for my decision at the beginning of next episode.
Yeah.
Cool. Hello. I'm Jimmy. I'm having an absolute ball playing Apocalypse World. You can find me on Twitter at roleplay_James. I'll be at Sexpo in Brisbane over the weekend playing games with all of my friends. Come by the Beehive. It'll be fantastic. And if you need someone to run your games for you, you can find me at GM4Hire. That's G for Golf, M for Mike, number 4, hire.com.au.
Awesome. Thank you. Emily. Shout-out.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Emily. This is the best. This was a really cool episode. Holy crap. You can find me on Twitter at Blackwall Says. I make films and I make art, but actually on Twitter I mostly post selfies and read.
They're great selfies.
Animals. But I do make films and art. I promise. I do that. You can also find me on Tumblr at Blackwall Holiday, and I'm on YouTube at Blackwall Holiday as well, where some of my film stuff is. Yeah, and that's it for me, and this is really excellent, and I'm very excited.
Excellent. Luke, shout-outs.
Some of the film stuff you have to
yeah.
be very special to obtain.
There you go. That's a film stuff.
My name is Luke. I am a professional GM for children. I also am a game designer. I'm currently designing some games. If you want to ask me about them, follow me on Twitter. But recently, I released a game. We played it on this very channel, and it was dope as fuck. I'm hoping within like the next couple of days to like totally finalize like the really fancy, pretty versions of all the files. So like, go to gamesfromthewildwood.itch.io/endlesssea and buy a copy of that because it is a pretty good game that I wrote.
It's awesome.
And follow me on Twitter at Wildwoods Games to hear about the other things that I do.
Awesome. Good job. I've been Ash, your GM.
And to yell at me for making you all wait. Sorry, Ash.
That is fine. I'm Ash. I've been your GM. This has been I'm Not Trying to Kill You. We've been playing Apocalypse World. And you can find me on Twitter at Acegiak, ACEGIAK, or acegiak.tumblr.com, or Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, all the same things on all of the things. Thank you so much for joining us. We will skip ahead 6 months for the next, or some months. We don't know how time works in the apocalypse. For the next one, I will hopefully be streaming some Darkest Dungeon on Wednesday. Otherwise, we will be back for more role-playing games on Monday. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.